The problems of West Asia are not coming to an end soon, and it seems like that the boil will continue. UK, Germany and France have decided to side with US and fight against Iran. With the death of Supreme Leader of Iran, proxy war unfolding on all the fronts, be it Hezbollah, be it Houthis or be it Hamas, and we get to see India's strategic neighborhood, the West Asia, which was the gateway, which was the oil point and so much more, firing up in ways we can't think of. And if you think that it is happening away from India, so there will be limited impact. So let me tell you how wrong you are, because India might not be the party of this particular war, might not be involved in this war, but the impacts would be so huge that we would feel that we are. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and today we are going to understand that how come even after not being party to the war, India is not going to be spared. The after effects, the burns, the impacts are going to touch India as much we are getting to see across West Asia. So let us begin with seeing that what exactly is unfolding. If you talk about our country, you might understand that we have certain geographical distance from West Asia, but we are deeply affected with what is unfolding there. Be it the protests that are unfolding across different cities in our country, be it our Prime Minister chairing important meetings, calling up PM of Israel, understanding what is unfolding there, or be it a worry that how it is going to unfold for India's foreign trade, India's export, crude oil and LPG supply. So this clearly shows us that as of now, if we are looking at India, the West Asia crisis will be a major concern for us. Now when we are talking about major concern, we have to understand why. So as I said, yes, geographical distance does exist, but we will be deeply affected in forms of energy dependence. We will be deeply affected in terms of trade routes. We will be deeply affected because of ideological issues across West Asia, diaspora which is present in West Asia, and there will be domestic political linkages as well. So this clearly puts us in a frame that we would have a lot which will be impacted. Now this is exactly what we are going to discuss today, that how India would be bearing the heat and would remain untoppled, vulnerable, since this extreme crisis is unfolding in West Asia. Let us look how and what are our issues. So the first thing, as I said, that we should expect should be the energy security shock, and we should be worried about this because this is our biggest exposure. Especially when we are talking about Strait of Hormuz, which has been a key point of dispute because Iran has decided to temporarily close it off. Iran has decided to attack all the countries around it, including UAE, Oman. Oman was the mediator between US and Iran, then striking Iraq, Syria and whatnot. So this whole Persian Gulf, which is an important shipping route, is in a problematic place. Then another route that we need to consider is the Red Sea shipping route. Now that place you have to understand, if this is Yemen is present here, this is the Red Sea shipping route, and when we have Yemen, we have Houthis there, proxies from the axis of resistance of Iran. If you want to understand this, I have already covered proxy warfare and axis of resistance in the earlier video today. You can go and watch that. Now if we have two major trading routes, especially which are very important from the perspective of oil, either being blocked or attacked, we will go to see a disruption in terms of crude oil, LNG and LPG imports. Now the problem here is India is dependent for 85% of crude oil, and West Asia is a major supplier of this 85%. So Once this is blocked, what will happen? Oil prices will increase. And this is not just for India, global oil prices will increase. Now, once India oil prices increase, inflation will set in and our macroeconomic indicators will start looking bad. So, the problem here is not only disruption of Strait of Hormuz, problem at Red Sea shipping route, but also the global crude prices which will rise, and how LPG supplies volatility is going to affect our households. So, this problem is not going to be seen in just in terms of more money that you have to pay for petrol, but also you might see limited cooking gas available for you. This is only one problem I am talking about, and probably it is the biggest one, because as I said, it will not only bring in inflation, there will be extreme burden on the government to facilitate the fuel subsidy which is increasing, and it will also lead to current account deficit. So, that means when we are talking about forex, that will also be in a difficult situation. Now, when forex is in a difficult situation, the impact will be seen on our currency. Rupee has tumbled a lot last year, it has been on significant exposure, and there will be more difficulty it will be facing in terms of stability. So, any oil shock, because of any reason at all, it easily converts an external conflict into a domestic economic stress, and India seems to be on a bigger receiving end for this problem. Apart from that, please remember Strait of Hormuz and Red Sea shipping route, they will be blocked not only for oil. If any disruption happens there, it will be a problem for trade, it will be a problem for shipping and all supply chains as well. So, when we are talking about this global trade routes being disrupted, the West Asia, which is India's economic gateway, because countries present here are our major partners when we are talking about engineering goods, gems and jewelry, food exports, pharmaceuticals, all of this will be disrupted. Disrupted, that means exports will not happen, correct? If exports will not happen, foreign currency not going to come in. Then again similar impacts, impact on foreign exchange reserves, impact on rupee stability will be seen. Apart from that, we are also seeing, because of this issue, insurance costs, especially maritime, they have increased, shipping delays and rerouting are occurring, airspace across 11 countries in West Asia have been closed, that means aviation logistics are also at stake. So, shipping was difficult, yes, shipping was expected to be disrupted, yes, but this adds more. So, not just exports cost increasing, trade uncertainty and supply chains will be also fragmented. Now, two big problems understood, oil, second, two big problems we have understood, oil shock, trade issue. Now, we also need to look with a finer lens with other clear issues which are present outright there in West Asia. Our own people, I am talking about 9 million, more than 9 million actually. If you look at the recent estimates, you will find it near about 10 million Indians which are present in West Asia. Gulf region is responsible for major share that India's remittances are present. If you remember the balance of payment crisis of 1990s, it was one of the major reasons that Gulf war was happening. Indian residents had to come back, the remittances took a huge hit. So, imagine another issue like that, our remittances are going to take a huge hit yet again. And this is where we get to see that we are not only concerned about the safety of our nationals, the worry is also about how to get them back. Because when airspaces are shut off, trade routes, usual shipping routes are at risk, how do we get them back? And when we are looking at economic problems, remittances are going to take hit, employments are going to go, and that is why we are seeing that CCS is monitoring evacuation, embassy is issuing regular advisory, and human security is another angle that is going to be a huge concern for India. Now, when we are talking about human factor in this whole situation, we also have to take another factor, When we are talking about the human factor, let us move to another one right in front of us. After the death of Iran's supreme leader Khamenei, we saw that the religious as well as political mobilization which happened in our country. So, an external supreme leader dying had internal repercussions. That means we will have internal concerns apart from economic factors. That would be about law and order, that would be about communal sensitivity, and also managing the misinformation that is running around. So, this clearly shows that as of now, what seems like an external conflict will become an economic distress, will become a human security risk, will become a domestic social stability risk if not managed properly. Now, the problem here is when we are talking about addressing these issues, the addressal starts with the external problem itself. And the external problem is such a big tightrope for India because all the parties involved, be it US, Israel or Iran, are India's strategic partners. India is involved with Iran, India is a strategic partner for Israel, India is a strategic partner for US. So, in this context, it is a very difficult place for India because India has a multi-alignment challenge. India is aligned with all of these including Gulf states. So, in this situation, India might have to focus on strategic autonomy but not alienation, because this multi-alignment might be the back channel these countries need in order to bring peace, in order to bring some solution, in order to bring some normalcy to this particular situation. So, India should not stay out, but India should maintain strategic autonomy. India is already trying to focus to ensure that there is safety of their citizens, the evacuation plans, as our PM also held consultations with Israeli PM and understand, but at the same time India would not like to be seen siding with any of these. So, it's clear that the ripple effects are many, but the solutions in front of us are limited because, as I said, India might be geographically distant, but socially, economically and also politically, West Asia is our extended neighborhood and the effects are sure to come in. Be it the rise in crude prices, be it the stock market volatility that we saw today, the gold price surge that we saw today, the rupee depreciation pressure which RBI is trying to maintain, and that is going to complicate the monetary policy, bring in a lot of fiscal stress for government and definitely put a brake on growth aims that we have had for our country. Now, this is the place where I will be leaving you with a question. I want to know the way forward from your end, that India has had such exposure for the longest time, but what do you think that India should do in short term and long term to bring an addressal to some of these problems? Let me know in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.